Good day, everyone. I am Janela May Arias, together with Jade Hershey Gordo, Barbie Risuelio, Kyla Taragtakan, and Neil Adrian Villafana. As we explore a vital topic in our field today, we have the chapter 10, which is continuous monitoring. You know, for the longest time, people viewed auditing as something scary because it usually happens at the end of the year when it's already too late to fix mistakes. But today, we are talking about a major shift. We are moving from old school checkup to a live stream version of auditing. So it's like having a 24/7 security guard for the company's data. This, is, this isn't just about numbers. It's about how businesses survive and stay honest in a world that never stops moving. Kaya naman, let's keep diving into why this is the future of our profession. So for the second slide, we have here a question. Why auditing had to change? So let's start with a very basic question. Bakit nga ba kailangan magbago ng auditing? In the past, auditors had to check every single record manually. Imagine a room filled with boxes of receipts, and you are there with a calculator checking them one by one. It was literally like looking for a needle in a haystack. So napakabagal at nakakapagod. As businesses became larger and more global, this old method just couldn't keep up. The biggest danger was that auditors only look at small sample or tiny piece of the data. If an employee or vendor committed fraud, they could easily hide it in the 90% of files that weren't being checked. Today, however, we use smart software to scan every single transaction simultaneously. We don't guess anymore. We use digital tools to ensure nothing is missed. Modern risks move too fast, and if we stay with old fashioned paperwork, the company will definitely fall behind. So, let's have an example that is related to operations auditing. So, think of a huge supermarket chain. In the old days, an auditor would count the cans of milk in just one aisle and assume that full store are accurate. But what if a staff member was secretly taking items from the back room? Manual sampling would never catch that. With continuous auditing, the moment a product is received at the dock and not scanned in the inventory system, a digital alert is sent. We are auditing the actual movement of goods, not just the paper trail. Now, let's discuss the waiting game and why it is so dangerous. Traditional audits usually happens once a year or every 2 years. This creates what we call the gap. So imagine if a huge mistake or theft happens the very day after an audit finishes. In a traditional system, that error might stay hidden for an entire year before the next audit begins. By the time we finally catch it, the financial loss could be so huge that the company might not even recover. Aside from the money, waiting too long leads to heavy fines from the government and even legal lawsuits against owners. Moving to continuous systems means we stop living in the past. Instead of looking at what happened 12 months ago, we start looking at what is happening right now. This allows us to find at risk transactions and fix them before they grow into a disaster. So let's try to have an example that is related to operations auditing. So in a factory that manufactures medicine, temperature control is everything. If a cooling machine breaks and the medicine spoils, a traditional auditor might only notice the loss during the year-end inventory count. That is a waste of millions of pesos. But with continuous monitoring, the moment the temperature rises by even 2 degrees, the system alerts the operations manager. They can fix the machine in 10 minutes and save the entire batch. Ito ang literal na safety net ng isang company. So for this slide, it is entitled The Goal of Continuous Auditing. So what is the ultimate goal here? The main focus of continuous auditing is efficiency. In the past, auditors spent months just proving that the company was following the rules. Now, we shift the focus entirely to finding what is not working. So think of it like a security alarm in your house. You don't wait for a year to check if your windows are locked. You want an alarm to go off the second someone tries to break in. By identifying problems early, we keep them from festering or getting worse. This early intervention saves the company a massive amount of money and protects the management from being accused of being negligent. It turns auditing from a slow, yearly checkup into a constant protective shield for the business. So just like other slides, let's have an example that is related to operations auditing. So let's look at the company's fuel expenses for its delivery tracks. A traditional auditor might notice at the end of the year that fuel costs are 20% higher than expected. But a continuous system can track fuel consumption per kilometer for every single truck every day. If one driver is suddenly using twice as much fuel as everyone else, the alarm goes off. The manager can investigate if the truck has leaked or if the fuel is being stolen on the same day it happens. And let's proceed to the next slide. Now, let's go to the most important part of my discussion, yung evolution ng ating auditing, which is the modern auditing or modern monitoring. So, hindi naman ito biglang naging modern agad. It followed a clear path, parang hagdanan na paakyat. So, let's break down these 4 stages in detail so that we can see how we reach the gold standard, which is the continuous monitoring. So, we have here 4 stages na meron siyang mga nakatapat na action. So, let's start with the sampling. Yung sampling natin, ang action natin dyan is checking a small random group of items. So, dito tayo nagsimula. Since manual ang trabaho dati, hindi kayang tignan lahat. Ang ginagawa ng auditors, kumukuha lang sila ng sample. If the sample looks good, ina-assume natin na okay ang lahat. So, example for this is, imagine a factory that produces 10,000 cans of sardines a day. In the sampling stage, the auditor will only open and check 10 cans. Kung masarap at malinis yung 10 cans, ipapasa na yung buong 10,000 cans of sardines. But there's a risk. Napakataas na risk dito. What if yung ika-11 na lata pala ay may dumi? We would never know because we did not check it. Sobrang daming blind spots for this stage. And next stage natin is the data analytics. Yung data analytics natin is tinatawag din natin siyang digital shift. So, ang action natin for data analytics is using software to find patterns in all data. This is where we started using computers. Instead of just being 10 cans, we use a scanner to check the weight and label of all 10,000 scans. We are looking for anomalies o yung mga weird na records. So, example, in a company's payroll, the computer scans every employee's salary. It will suddenly alert the auditor. Hey, why does this employee have 50,000 peso bonus but no overtime records? Computer na ang nag-a-analyze ng patterns para sa atin. So, mas mabilis na nating nahanap ang mga suspicious transactions. And let's proceed to the third stage. Yung third stage natin is continuous auditing. which is it serves as constant guard. So, ang action natin for this stage is constantly checking for errors as they happen. So, ito na yung level na always on. The system is programmed with strict rules. The moment a rule is broken, the auditor gets an email immediately. Hindi na tayo naghihintay ng end of the month. So, let's say a company has a rule. No payment should be made without a valid invoice. Sa continuous auditing, the moment a clerk tries to click pay on a transaction without attached invoice, the system blacks it and pings the auditor. And it's like a digital referee that blows the whistle the second a foul is committed. And let's proceed to the last stage. Ang last stage naman natin is continuous monitoring. Ang action natin dyan is real-time oversight used by management to stay in control. So this is the peak. The big difference here is that the tools are now in the hands of live dashboard that shows the health of the company every second. So let's have an example which is operational. So imagine the manager of massive supermarket chain like SM or Robinsons. On their tablet, they have a live map of all the branches. If a branch in San Carlos City suddenly shows that 50% of its cash registers are offline during peak hours, the manager sees a red light flashing. So, ano yung power of action natin dito? The manager doesn't need to wait for an audit report next month. They can call the branch manager right now and ask, bakit offline ang mga counter nyo? Maraming customers ang naghihintay. So, ang conclusion natin dito is, you see, from just checking few things, this is the summary. So, you see, just from checking a few things, which is sampling, we move to using computer, which is data analytics, then to automated checking, which is continuous auditing, and finally, to total real-time control, which is continuous monitoring. This is how we protect the organization from losses and keep operations running smoothly. And we are done with my part. Let's have Miss Gordo for the next slides. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jade Sheila Chica Gordo, and for my part, it's going to be a major shift in internal auditing, which is it is the journey from sampling to continuous monitoring. So this isn't just a technical upgrade, but it's a strategic transformation that changes how we detect problems, manage risks, and support performance. As the slide says, auditing isn't just about finding problems, it's about preventing them. So sa madaling salita, hindi lang tayo tagahanap ng mali, ganun. Pero tayo kasi yung nagbabago ng tagapagbago ng sistema. So next, the limitations of traditional auditing. Let's start with the old way. Oh, that's what I have said, the traditional auditing. We have here sampling. We only check a small portion of data. Example, 50 out of 5,000 reports. That's sampling. Second is the high risk of missing fraud or errors, on which if the issue isn't in this sample, we miss it. Third one is the delayed detection. Problems grow unchecked until the next audit cycle. Kapag pag maliit lang ang tinitingnan natin, malaki yung possibility na may hindi tayo nakita. And kapag ganun yung nangyari, huli at kapag huli na yung pagkakita nun, mas malaki na yung pinsala niya as time goes by kasi. Next, we have now let's look at the evolution from sampling to continuous monitoring. Sampling is limited assurance, high risk of oversight. Second, data analytics, which detects anomalies like duplicate payments and invalid vendors. On continuous auditing, we have this frequent automated check using CATs. And the fourth one is continuous monitoring, which is the real-time dashboards for management. Sa tulong kasi ng technology natin ngayon, hindi na natin kailangang hintayin yung susunod na audit. Kasi pwede na nating makita agad yung problema. And syempre, masusolusyonan agad natin yan. Next. Okay, here. Let's make it real. Here's how each stage works in practice. So for the sampling, ang scenario niya, we have checking 50 out of 5,000 reports. For the next stage, data analytics, we Excel formulas to detect duplicate payments. Diba? Mas madali na yun. Next stage is the continuous auditing. ACL flags split transactions daily. And the fourth stage, which is continuous monitoring, the system alerts suspicious vendor payments instantly. So these examples show how we move from reactive to proactive, from limited checks to full control. Here, data analytics isn't just about numbers. It's about protecting the organization. So let's look at some key procedures. So we have here the split transactions on which it detects circumvention of approval limits. Next is unauthorized approvals on which it flag junior staff actions. Third, duplicate payments. It prevents overpayment. Retroactive POs catch suspicious timing. And segregation of duties on which it prevent fraud. So, yung mga yung pag-check kasi nito, hindi lang siya technical, pero kasi it helps to protect the company or the organization sa pandaraya, ganun, sa pagkakamali, and also reputational damage. So here is the extended table on the next slide. Beyond the basics, we also analyze. So here we have prohibited vendors or personnel on which it ensures compliance with sanctions. Employee-vendor match spots suspicious relationships. Unusual activity, it detects anomalies by time, amount, or behavior. Excessive inventory, on which identify slow moving or expiring stock. For contract terms and sales, it validate pricing, discounts, and shipping. So these checks go deeper. It can help us to manage operational, financial, and reputational risk. So here's the real shift. Continuous monitoring puts control in the hands of management. With dashboards and alerts, leaders can act fast, reduce risk, and improve compliance. So, hindi na lang yung auditor yung may control, pati management na rin. So, pati management na rin, may kakayan silang kumilos agad to make action. Ganun. So here, in summary, the journey from sampling to continuous monitoring is a leap forward. It's about using technology, data, and smart procedures to protect the organization and support its goals. As auditor kasi, we're not just watchdogs. We're also um, we're partners in performance. So in the end, um, yung halaga ng audit, yung nasa kakayahan nitong kung paano dalhin to a better change. Yun lang. Thank you. And for the next reporter.
So data analysis software applications. So data analysis software refers to tools used to analyze large amounts of data quickly and accurately. So in businesses in auditing, organizations generate thousands or even millions of transactions. So because of this, it would be very difficult for auditors to check everything manually. So this is where data analytics tools become more important. So these software applications allow auditors and organizations to process, organize, and analyze large volumes of information efficiently. So one of the main purposes of data analytics is to detect errors, unusual transactions, or possible fraud in financial records. So instead of checking only a small sample of transactions, auditor can analyze entire data sets, so which makes the audit process more reliable. So data analytics software also improves efficiency and accuracy. It reduces manual work and help auditors focus on identifying patterns or irregularities that may indicate risk. Next. So one of the most commonly used data analysis tools is Microsoft Excel. So because it provides many functions that help analyze and organize data. Modern version of Excel can handle more than 1 million rows and over 16,000 columns, which allows it to process large data sets used in auditing and business operations. So Excel contains many useful formulas. So one example is the sum function, which is used to add numbers together. For example, auditor may use sum to calculate total sales or total expenses. Another function is average, which calculates the average value of a group of numbers. This is useful when analyzing financial performance or trends. So the count and countif functions are also important. Count counts the number of cells containing numbers, while countif counts value that meet a specific condition. For example, auditors may use countif to determine how many transactions exceed a certain amount. So the max and min functions help identify the highest and lowest values in a data set. These can help auditors detect unusually high or low transactions that may require further investigations. So another powerful function is lookup, which allows user to search for specific information in a table. For example, auditor can match transactions records with customer or suppliers data. So aside from formulas, Excel also has other features that help clean and organize data. One example is text to columns, which separate combined data into multiple columns. Another feature is remove duplicates, which helps identify repeated records in a data set. Finally, data validations ensures that data entered into a spreadsheet follows specific rules, helping prevent errors. So overall, these functions and features allow auditors and organizations to analyze data efficiently, detect errors, and improve decision making. So next is Microsoft Access, which is used for database management. So it helps organizations store and organize large volume of structured data. So there are also Arbutus Analyzer, which is a specialized audit analytics software designed to help auditors examine financial data and detect unusual transactions more effectively. So these tools allows organizations to analyze information faster and make better decision based on the data available. Next.
Now, let's talk about organizational readiness level for data analytics. In today's business environment, organizations rely heavily on data and technology to improve operations, manage risk, and make better decisions. For internal auditors, data analytics and technology tools have become very important in evaluating processes and identifying risks earlier and more effectively. Before organizations can fully benefit from data analytics, they must first understand their organizational readiness level. Organizational readiness level refers to how prepared an organization is in terms of planning, leadership, process, people, and technology to effectively use data analytics in governance, risk management, and compliance. There are generally three levels of organizational readiness: the initial level, evolving level, and functional level. Let's start with the initial level. At the initial level, processes are usually ad hoc, meaning they develop gradually over time without a formal plan. Organizations at this stage often rely on simple tools such as spreadsheets and shared folders instead of specialized systems. Another characteristic of this level is lack of coordination and leadership. Employees may have multiple responsibilities, but there is a little collaboration between departments. Because of this, risk management activities may be inconsistent. Risk ranking is also often inconsistent at this stage. Different departments may evaluate risk differently, which makes it difficult to create a reliable overview of the organization's overall risk status. As a result, senior management may not have a clear understanding of the organization's exposure to risk. The second level is evolving level. At this stage, the organizations begin to develop a formal plan for improving its governance, risk management, and compliance processes. A basic business case may also be prepared to justify investments in technology and additional. There is also a greater collaboration among different roles and departments. Organizations begin to adopt the three lines of defense model, where management, risk management function, and internal auditors work together to manage risk effectively. Another improvement at this stage is the creation of a more consistent approach to risk ranking across different departments. Re- Risk and compliance issues also begin to be connected with the strategic objectives of the organization. Technology use also increases at this level. Organizations start using specialist systems designed for governance, risk, compliance, and auditing. Because of this, senior management is able to obtain a more consistent and clearer overview of organizational risk. The highest level is the functional level. At the functional level, the organization has a well managed and structured plan for data analytics and risk management. Progress is regularly measured against established business case criteria to ensure the organization achieving its goals its goals. There is also clear and effective leadership that guides governance, risk, and compliance initiatives. Roles and responsibilities are well defined, and activities are coordinated across different departments. At this stage, risk and compliance issues are fully integrated with the organization's strategic objectives. Risk ranking is highly consistent throughout the organization, allowing management to make better decisions. Another key characteristic of functional level is the widespread awareness of governance, risk, and compliance issues among senior management. Leaders understand the organization's risk appetite, which refers to the amount of risk the organization is willing to accept in pursuing the objectives. Technology also plays a very important role at this stage. Organizations integrate specialized technologies and data analytics tools onto their normal operations. Many processes are automated, including continuous risk assessment and monitoring, such as the Continuous Controls Monitoring or CCM, allow organizations to monitor risk and control in real time rather than waiting for periodic. In addition, strategic and operational performance reporting systems are integrated into enterprise risk and compliance initiatives. These provide management with accurate and timely information to support decision making. Understanding these readiness levels help organizations develop a clear implementation plan. This plan should address the strategic, operational, people-related, and technological impacts of adopting data analytics. It also should clearly define who will perform a specific task and when this task should be completed. Now, let's, let's, let us discuss how CAATT or computer assisted audit techniques and tools help organizations achieve operational excellence. Traditionally, internal auditors use a cycli- cyclical auditing approach. This means that auditors review specific departments or processes at certain intervals, such as once a year or every few months. While this approach has worked effectively for many years, it also has a limitation. Problem may exist within the organization for several months before auditors identify them during the next review cycle. This is where CAATT becomes very useful. It allows auditors to analyze large amounts of data quickly and continuously instead of waiting for the next scheduled audit. Auditors can monitor transactions and activities in real time. This helps identify potential issues earlier and reduce the risk of unexpected problems. Another advantage of this is their ability to improve risk identification through the use of metrics. Two important types of metrics are KPI or Key Performance Indicator or KRI, Key Risk Indicators. KPIs measures how well an organization is performing in relation to its goals. Examples include sales figures, production levels, number of employees, or number of customers. KRIs, on the other hand, focus on identifying risks that could affect organizational performance. For example, sales revenue is an important KPI because it shows how much the company is selling. However, accounts receivable balance and aging are considered KRIs. Even if sales are high, if customers do not pay on time, the company may face serious financial risk. Another example involves production. The number of products produced is a KPI because it measures productivity. However, the number of accidents or errors during production are KRIs because they indicate underlying risks related to safety, compliance, and product quality. In addition to these examples, organizations use many common KPIs such as sales growth, profit margin, inventory turnover, number of orders, number of customer calls, and number of customers served. By combining data analytics, CATT, CATT, KPIs, and KRIs, internal auditors and management can gain a more comprehensive understanding of organizational performance and risk. To conclude, organizational readiness for data analytics plays a crucial role in improving governance, risk management, and compliance. Organization progress to initial, evolving, and functional level, each representing increasing maturity in planning, coordination, and technology use. At the same time, the use of CATTs enables auditors to move beyond traditional cyclical audit and adopt continuous monitoring and analytics. By tracking KPIs and KRIs, organizations can detect risk earlier, improve operational efficiency, and support better decision making.
So, good day, everyone. I am Villafania Nil Adrian F, and I am here to discuss the CCM and CCA, or Continuous Controls Monitoring and Continuous Controls Auditing. So, the first one is traditional auditing relied on sample testing of transactions. Next is CCM and CCA use data analytics to monitor controls continuously. The third one is it helps auditors to detect anomalies, risks, and unusual patterns. Next is auditors must remain independent and objective. And lastly, continuous monitoring helps identify and resolve issues faster. So, CCM and CCA, or continuous control monitoring and continuous controls auditing, are modern approaches used by internal auditors to evaluate whether internal controls are working properly. Noon guys, auditors mainly relied rather on single transaction testing where they reviewed only a example of transaction by examining documents or observing processes. This method often took a lot of time and only provided a limited view rather of organization's operations. With the use of data analytics and key risk indicator, or KRIS, auditors can now analyze large amounts of data more efficiently. These tools allow auditors to identify patterns, unusual activities, and changes in risk levels within the organizations. However, internal auditors must remain independent and objective when performing their work. Because of this requirement, auditors should not directly perform management's control activities. Instead, they evaluate and monitor how well these controls are working. Kapag naman when it comes to implementing naman, it should be continuous in monitoring and auditing. Auditors and management should determine which metrics or indicators should be monitored and what thresholds or warning signs would trigger further investigations. Like for example, sa isang payment system, may exception report that may be generated when a payment cannot be matched to a customer account. This report allow auditors and management to quickly identify issues and correct them because they become um, larger problems. Yung mga ganitong transaction, kapag hindi nagmamatch yung, ang tawag dito, yung resibo sa account mo, malamang sa malamang may problema doon na kailangan i-audit ng mga auditor para makita kung ano yung problem. Kasi kung hindi yun makukuha agad, it can cause bigger problems pa, maapektuhan pa yung iba, and yeah, lalala pa. And next is automation, AI or artificial intelligence, and ML or machine learning. Automation improves efficiency and accuracy in auditing. Artificial intelligence analyzes data and detects unusual activities. Machine learning or ML identifies patterns and trends in large data sets. It also helps detect errors, fraud, and operational risks faster. Supports real-time monitoring and better decision making. So sa automation, AI or artificial intelligence, and ML or machine learning, modern auditing increasingly uses automation, AI or artificial intelligence nga, and ML or machine learning to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of monitoring systems. AI or artificial intelligence refers to the technology that can simulate human thinking and decision making. AI systems can analyze data, detect unusual transactions, and make recommendations based on patterns they observe. Like for example, yung AI is kaya niya na ma-analyze yung healthcare claims natin. It also detects suspicious transactions or identify operational risks. Next is yung ML or machine learning. It is a type of technology that allows computer systems to learn from data and improve their performance over time. Machine learning system analyze large data sets and identify patterns, trends, or unusual activities that might indicate errors, fraud, or efficiencies. Next is the automation. It helps the organization perform complex calculations, analyze large amount of data, and detect errors more quickly than manual processes. It also reduces mistakes caused by human error. So nare-reduce niya yung mistake ng mga tao during data entry or analysis. Through automation and real-time monitoring, organization can identify issues earlier and provide management, auditors, and compliance professional with faster and more reliable information. So the last slide would be the summary. So continuous auditing improves monitoring and risk detection. Next is technology allows auditors to analyze large amount of data. Next is data quality is important for accurate decision making. Fourth bullet is, excuse me, KPI and KRIs help identify operational issues early. And lastly, organizations should detect and solve problems before external parties do. So, continuous auditing provide many opportunities for modern operational auditors. So noon, organization often review data only once a year, which is limited pa sila and yung ability nila to detect problem quickly kasi nga for sure mano-mano yung ginagawa nila. And in today's era naman, with reliable data systems and advanced technology, auditors can easily analyze large volumes of information more efficiently. Kasi nga, with the help of AI, mas napapabilis yung pagtatrabaho ng mga auditors. They can extract combine, and analyze data from multiple sources to better understand operational processes and risks. So traditional sampling methods and manual records sometimes provide only limited view of operations. If data is incomplete and unreliable, auditors should still report these issues because they may indicate weaknesses in the organization's information systems. So management is responsible for establishing processes that support business objectives and monitoring their performance by focusing on key performance indicators and key risk indicators, or the KPIs and KRIs. The management can detect unusual events early and take corrective action before problems become more serious or larger. Ideally, um, the organization should identify problems internally before external parties such as regulators, auditors, or journalists discover them. Effective collaboration between management, internal auditors, and other control functions help ensure that operational risks are identified and addressed promptly. And that is the end of our report as a group for chapter 10. Thank you for listening.